Alright, since I made a promise to y'all, I'm gonna make this video. Sometimes I actually do meet men who protect me from other men who are dangerous, and I find that very sweet and chivalrous. They don't have to, but I appreciate that they do. I truly value their contribution to society. Like, for example, I had this one food spot I used to go to all the time, all the time, all the time. But then, way too many times, I would get harassed sitting down there because there you had a lot of men working at that shop, but sometimes it would be like a homeless guy tweaking out, just trying to like sexually harass me or demand I give him my phone number or some shit. It's like you. How do you? Okay, how do you have a phone? Well, I don't know. I guess it's the modern era. Homeless people have phones. It happens, but still, like, no. Put that fucking energy into getting a job or getting off the streets or getting clean. Don't, but I don't know. They just, it's like, do you want to fuck in my shanty, baby girl? It's like, no. And then they don't take no for an answer. And it's bad. But then, like, eventually they were like, okay, this girl is, like, seriously fed the fuck up. Like, they could tell I was showing up less and less because of it. And they used to adore me at their shop. So at some point, I remember, it was super late at night. All I wanted to do was eat a quesadilla by myself, nice and alone in the corner, minding my business. I chose a seat super far away from everyone else in the corner of the restaurant because I was like, I just want my business to be minded. I don't want to disturb anyone and I don't want to be disturbed. You know what some sick fuck did? They specifically went out of their way to just stroll in and corner me in that corner of the restaurant and slam a like filthy slime and grime covered baby photo on my table. And then they started slurring out the corner of their mouth, almost shooting out spittle towards my food. And they were like, so, guess who that is? Guess who that baby is right there? Guess who that baby is? I was like, uh, I don't know. They were like, you don't know who that is? I said, is it you? No, it's not me. Who the fuck is it? You know who that is. And they kept talking and harassing me. And I was just like, fuck, dude, please don't make me. And I was like, okay, I'm a few seconds from really having to pull out my pepper spray or my knife. Because it's like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to safely, like, hop over this one little gated area and get out of here safely. But guess what? The restaurant owner and his friend nearby, who runs the place next door, they were like, hey, hey, and then they actually physically chased the guy out of the restaurant physically and then made sure I was safe and felt safe after. And that's exactly what I like. That's like good behavior. That's good behavior. Like, I like it when I'm walking down the street and I see a man behind me, and at first I get a little nervous, but I try to still have the mindset of not every man who's behind me is like dangerous or predatory, but sometimes there are. I remember once I saw a dude walking down the street from the opposite direction my way, and it seems like he was locking eyes on me, and I thought that was weird. I turned the corner, went inside of my house, and then I'm so glad I shut that door correctly, cause the way my place works is I opened like two doors and then the door to my apartment. I heard the sounds of someone jiggling my doorknob to the outside of my house, and if I wasn't as quick to get into my house, or if I maybe I don't know, anything could have happened. Anything could have happened. And I'm just glad that that door was closed correctly because that creeped me the fuck out so much. Who knows what the fuck could have went down? That was disgusting. And so that's an example of like the bad shit that can happen. That's why women are paranoid, because there are creeps out there that'll do that, and you can't just trust any random stranger on the street who could be like politely admiring you or could be hunting you down and hoping they can get into your apartment and sexually assault you. Not fun. But I like it when I'm walking down the street and then here comes like a man will choose to like fully cross the street. Or if they're behind me, they choose to fully cross the street the other way so that I don't feel like I'm getting stalked by them. And that makes it like no stress for everybody involved, and I love that behavior. I remember my ex Morgan. He was a piece of shit in a lot of ways, but he did have his nice moments. I remember once I was gonna go inside of my apartment, but like I mentioned before in a previous video, there were some people that just specifically, stupidly chose to like stand in front of my door. Like literally climbed up the steps and then stood right in front of the entrance to my building and then just started snorting coke and pills and shit. And then he was like, "You want me to help you out with that?" And I said, "Yeah." And then he knew, like, okay, to me as a scrawny twink, so what the fuck is she gonna do? So he got his big burly ass out his car, sauntered the fuck over on some muscle man shit, and said, "Move out the way, she's trying to get in." Like hella sternly. I was like, ooh, and the like and I'm glad he did that, because those people were indeed fucking assholes and passive aggressive as fuck. It's like, I still apologize to them because I was like, oh, sorry, sorry. Like, and they were like, yeah, we're just doing coke, and they kept loudly yelling that they were just doing coke and being kind of assholey about it. It's like, yeah, we see, everybody sees, this is the worst hiding place. If you wanted to hide the fact that you're doing coke, you probably shouldn't be yelling it on someone's elevated porch with absolutely, like, everyone can see you doing it, actually. And then another time he did that when there was just some dude openly pissing in the street, yet loudly screaming Selena lyrics, if I recall correctly. And so he did the same thing. I forget if that was Morgan or my other ex, but I like it when men go out of their way to protect women in situations because they know that it's like, yeah, there are people out there that will spit on you, that will attack you, that will make you feel unsafe, and they will make you feel like you're not in a world that hates you and will just sit there as you get sexually harassed or coerced. They'll make you feel good. I was at this corner store the other day. I'm just trying to buy some like ice cream and some little chips and stuff, just trying to relax. And then this guy was like circling around the store being weird, yelling, talking to himself. But then specifically, it seemed like he locked eyes and targeted me. And I guess funny enough for context, I met the guy before. I remember I was going through a hard time and I was staring at the wine little wine section of the little corner store, debating on if I wanted a bottle or not. And then the guy came up to me, this tweaker guy. He was ashy as fuck, shaking and shit, totally disheveled, clothes filthy. He was like, 8 a.m., early drinking? I know how that is. Hell, you could get a drink and be like me. Isn't that fun? And I just thought, yeah. And then I promptly went the fuck home. I was like, no more alcohol for me. I'm not gonna miss being like him. I don't want to ever be in a room where me and him have something that bad in common. Anyway, so it was a little bit interesting to see him again. This time, a lot more cleaned up, like better clothes, took care of his skin, all that, but still ultimately on something. Either on drugs or on some bullshit. All I know is he saw me in that store and started following me around and saying weird shit, and then I got in line. And this man did not have shit in his hands to buy, but he got in line directly behind me. I looked behind, kind of like, oh fuck. How's this gonna go? Am I gonna have to fight some fucking 6'5" tweaker in the street? How's this gonna go? But the guy in front of me, he was shorter than me and smaller, but he still was like, ooh, no, I can't let this woman be unsafe. So specifically, he turns around and he's like, you can get in front of me, sweetheart. I said, oh, thank you so much. That made me so happy. And he physically turned to the guy and was like, hey, what's up, man? Yeah. Yeah, don't be doing shit like that. You freaking people out. That's not fucking cool. Some people will get you popped for that shit and just full on talk to the guy. I was like, ooh. We need more people like you on this planet, good sir. We love that energy. Thank you. Thank you. I value that. I value it that even if because it honestly, once some people, especially men, learn that honestly, it doesn't matter your height, it doesn't matter your weight. If you're a man and you're standing up for a woman, you're gonna be taken a lot more seriously than if she stood up for herself. Because if I tried to be like, hey nigga, back the fuck away from me, there's a chance he could have got violent off the bat just to like save his face and ego. But if it's other men, even like they don't even have to get physical. All the time, sometimes it just takes a hey, stop that, in your little fucking deep ass voice, and it makes a nigga stop that. Or sometimes it could just be like a bunch of men in a room being like, hey, get the fuck out of here. Passive aggressive type shit. You never have to make it a physical altercation. Just, I like it when men actually recognize their place in society and how men see other men. And they use it to their advantage to protect people who are disenfranchised, no matter what. Like, you could be like a woman, you could be poor, you could be struggling, you could be homeless, but they still will be like, hey, I know that you're in a fucked up place and I'm not gonna let other people fuck with you. So and they use their privilege for good. And that's the type of shit I enjoy. That's like good behavior. Shout out to men who are actually protective of women and sweet and kind. Thank you.